This is a Mojave that came from a Hurricane Mojave clutch. I actually kept her sister. This specific Mojave female I'm actually holding for a friend of mine. So Derek, here's your girl. This is Spinell, I believe he named her. And she's just an absolute dream to work with, just a sweetheart, unlike her sister, who you'll see here in a second. Her sister is just crazy, which is my holdback, but I just wanted to show this girl off to you guys. Really, really fantastic animal. Don't mind holding on to her, all because she really just is a dream to work with, and nice quality Mojave, in my opinion. And this is my Hurricane holdback. This is I'd say a decent quality Hurricane. I mean, I will be transparent with you guys. I definitely have better quality Hurricanes in my stock. So I was a little disappointed when I got a female. The only female that I held back, that I could hold back, was kind of middle quality. But I do really like her. She's a fantastic eater for me. I'm hoping that what Hans says, who found this gene, is true. He says that, you know, medium quality Hurricanes and poor quality Hurricanes can make good quality Hurricanes. It's not like other genes, but I don't really know if I quite believe that yet. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more I don't know, research and obviously time into quality of Hurricanes and what that means. And my goodness, she's everywhere right now. There we go. She's usually a little sassy. Like I said, she was hissing at me, but she has a decent decent personality, a really fun personality, honestly, because she's not always just happy. And of course, me with my small hands trying to hold her, which is a fast-growing snake, isn't working out the best as well as I thought, but just thought I'd show her off. I'm really excited. I finally did get a single gene female, which is exactly what I wanted. I just wanted a single gene female Hurricane from that Mojave Hurricane clutch. So beautiful little girl right here. Really excited about her potential in my collection. Alrighty, moving on. We actually aren't going to be looking at the Super Hurricane right now, the Hayabusa. He is in deep shed, and he's actually skipped his last 2 meals for me, so we're going to leave him be, just because I'd like to see him eat his next meal after that shed. This girl just ate yesterday, so I'm not going to pick her up. But this is just a pied, a sassy pied. She started getting freckles, actually, which is really cool. And she is going to the clown as well. She's actually breeding size, believe it or not. She is massive. I think she is, what, 1,400 now? Started at 12. She's started gaining really well. She wants to take a chunk out of my thumb right there that's sticking over the edge, so you might get to see that, but very pretty animal. Alright, and this girl actually needed a total tub change, so she doesn't have any aspen bedding here. I just did the traditional wetting the towel when they need to shed here. And this is another African import. I'm not going to mess with her too much, but you can see she has some floating pattern. I wish her neck pattern wasn't hidden, because you can really see the floating pattern under there. We see like a lot of circles or like figure eights, a lot of keyholes right there. That is what's really odd with her. Also, her back pattern kind of has like the bloops off of it. Little dots in the back there. I'm sure there's a technical term, but let's just call them bloops together. It's a very odd animal, especially out of shed. You can tell she's also got this lighter coloration to her. Might just be her color, but I think there's a little bit something extra going on. We'll find out together here. She should breed for me this season. This is my Hurricane Secret project. He literally just shed out, and I just took that out of here, but he peed in it too, so I'm gonna be changing that here in just a second, guys. Just wanted to kind of briefly show him off to you guys, and yeah, let's get down with that. Alright, so this is one of my African imports. I've been told by quite a few people that this girl might actually just be Enchi. Enchis have green eyes. This girl does not. This girl has like brown amber eyes. They're not green at all, which doesn't mean that she's not Enchi, but I'm kind of holding out hope that she's not. If she is, that's cool. I just proved out another line of Enchi. I'm not going to name it anything different. I'm not going to market it differently. I will tell people, hey, guess what? This Enchi is, you know, a different line, so it probably, most likely, has more genetic variability and genetic distinction, because it's from Africa, so not every one of them is going to be related then, so that might be something pretty cool. But she's just a gorgeous animal. She is thick. Like, this is just kind of her. I mean, there's snakes that are like this, that just have a thick body, and that's honestly her. see if I can get her head back in here. There we go. She's got these nice kind of clean spots on her back there. Nice patterning down the sides. That's the banding, and then the staticky is what I was trying to show you guys. She doesn't have too much of the static like enchi going on, but it's definitely still there. So kind of hoping that's what she is. She's a good girl. You giving me a present? Thank you. There we go. She's a really good girl, and I'm pretty excited to see where she's going. So this guy is a little thin right now, honestly. He has refused his last 2 meals, so guess what? You are a first-time breeder male, you refuse your last 2 meals, you don't breed for me, so he is done breeding right now until he starts eating again. This is the GHI, or not, excuse me, this is the Lavender Albino Mystic, and he has been seeing that, oh, no, and see, that's all sorts of male behavior right there, is pushing up against you. When they do that, they want to breed normally. But he has been breeding that Bell, so hopefully we'll be getting some Bell Het Lavenders, and then eventually some Lavender Bells, but he's just a stunning boy. He's a very good boy. You can get back down there? Thank you, boy. So excited to see where he's going. He's flattening himself right now, so he doesn't look that bad, I promise you guys. But this is just two meals down, and what boys do during this time is they just move. So that is why they can actually lose a lot of weight this way. And also, let's see, what is that? Huh, looks like a little bit of poop or something. Just saw on these albino animals. Oh, there it goes. It's a lot easier to see marks. Let me see if I can get it on my finger. And possibly mites and stuff. Is it gonna... No, this finger. There we go. So as you can see, aspen bedding actually has like these black flecks in it. So it spooks me all the time. If that was a mite, it'd be moving. Not a mite. Just thought I'd show you guys. For anyone else who uses aspen bedding, has like black specks. I believe it's probably like part of the original tree, like part of the bark or something. Scares the crap out of me sometimes, especially on like my white snakes and albino snakes. But yeah, just a little fun fact there. Okay, so this is the African import boy, and I really wish his colors were popping more. He has started eating again, and I'm not going to mess with him too much because I'm going to offer him more food today, but he was a little underweight, so that's why I only put him in there twice with that girl as well. But this is the one that bred that normal again, that only had 2 locks, and she was ready to go. Honestly, I literally got her, and then just boom, she was pregnant when she was ready to start breeding. Crazy, but that's how these things go. And you can see he's like, oh, you got food for me? I would show you guys, but underneath his belly, he actually has an orange ringer, which is weird. And it goes around, not all the way around his tail, but to the sides of his tail. That intense blushing on his back there, that chocolatey intense blushing, goes all the way down the sides there. And then when you hold him up and it's against his belly, it looks really cool. But yeah, this is a really interesting snake, really different. A lot of people say, oh no, I don't know what that could be. So hoping to prove out him being actually something different. This girl as well may be something different. And just had a rat in with her, so that's some fresh rat poo. Always a good time. There we go. So this is just an African import as well. Don't think this one's enchi though. People who have seen her are like, no, it doesn't look enchi to me. She's got this, there we go, this odd striped tail going on. And then if she lets me, I don't want to stress her out too much, but you can see she's got like almost like het pied track marks all the way 2/3 of her body or more. It's pretty intense. She's a sassaroonie though all of a sudden. She's one of the nicest animals I had. And then this winter, she started just getting sassy with me. These African imports do, for me, have taken longer to get bigger. But I mean, these guys are definitely outgrowing the first one I showed you. This girl hopefully will be ready for me this season. Again, when you have animals that are older, they actually are sexually mature, but I'm not going to breed them until they're big enough. So she's one of my oldest snakes, along with all my African imports. It's just that they just need to get up to size, and my older snakes, traditionally, for me anyways, and from my friends and other people, do grow faster once they get to bigger rats. So she's not taking bigger rats or all the other African imports, so that's why you might be shocked when you're like, oh my gosh, that snake's like 700-800 grams. I think she's like 850. I mean, it really doesn't take much for a whole entire year to get them up to breeding size. Alright, this guy's in shed. He's looking pink. But this is actually a, and he pooped on his head, sorry about that, but this is a super yellow belly probable banana. So probably banana and a super, it's also called an ivory. So excited to see about that. I'm probably going to be putting him to those 2 orange African imports I just showed you. And this is that weird clown I've been talking to you guys about. He may look a little thin to you guys. He does like to flatten himself, and he also is breeding 3 females. So he does have his work cut out for him, but he's not losing weight. He is doing good, and he is a muscle man. This is one of my oldest males, and he is just a stud, and he's teeny tiny, but he's fantastic. I'm really happy to have him around. You can kind of see the odd patterning I'm talking about. You see those polka dots on the side? He barely has any of the clown teardrops that come down, like right there and right there. He doesn't really have too many of those. He has a nice, like, bladed back, but he doesn't come to me as blade. He was bred a lot before me. They didn't see anything, so I really like his quality. His color is not brown like it's showing here. It's nice and kind of like a creamy orange, so he will be really nice and really fun to plug in some projects here soon. Alright, and this is one of my newer girls this season. This is my Lavender Albino female. So this girl came to me in a trade for actually a Dinker Mahogany Cinnamon. So a pretty cool animal. I let go because I got a lavender female, lavender male, which I ended up selling, and then a pied female. The pied female I'm not showing you guys because she is in deep shed and is kind of just been difficult for me since she had one bad shed a while ago, unfortunately, but we're getting that taken care of now, so that's why I'm kind of keeping back from her. But the pied actually, well, this whole collection actually came from a guy who started breeding years and years and years ago, and then like 14 years ago stopped because he had a family. He kept some animals though, and he didn't breed any, and then he eventually got back into it with one of his daughters, and they started breeding him again. And I talked to him about his pieds because I'm really interested. If you guys watch my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm very interested in genetic diversity. I want animals with strong genetics because ball pythons are a genetic mess. You ask any vet about it, they'll tell you just right away, yeah, ball pythons, genetic mess. That's why they have such bad feeding problems. That's why they have such bad issues with fighting off diseases, getting viruses really fast. I mean, we can go on forever, but pieds have been known to be one of the most inbred animals or morphs in ball pythons, because when the first ones came out, those were it. And everyone just bred them together without a second thought, and then all of a sudden you got this animal that doesn't eat anymore. So a lot of pieds, a lot of het pieds, babies from pieds, there have been troubles with them eating. So I was really interested in getting some pieds that were from the beginning of the era. And he's like, yeah, I got my het pieds from one of the very first clutches. And I mean, I trust this guy, looked him up, checks out, and his animals checked out, and this pied has just been phenomenal for me. My other 2 pieds have been great too. I haven't had any issues, so maybe I'm just lucky, but I'd like to keep, you know, something like that back, because even if there isn't a problem eating, there's going to be a problem with less genetic diversity in the DNA of the animals, and so this pied should have more by default. So that's kind of exciting too. So I have 3 pieds now. Of course, one of them's breeder loan, but still just kind of crazy to think about. But this is a beautiful lavender albino. I mean, these animals usually don't show up well on camera. As you saw, my other lavender albino mystic looked completely washed out, no distinction around the pattern, which is not what they look like in person. And I mean, this animal is just gorgeous. The camera completely washes out the sides, and even in this animal you can see the distinction. She is just absolutely beautiful. So really excited for her future here. She still needs to grow a little bit more before breeding, so 1 more year and she should be good to go. And she should be moving up to a new tup size here pretty soon. Okay, so this is my Bioactive Boa Cage, and I just removed the water bowl so you guys could see some of the wildlife that's living in here with her. So this is a native millipede to Nebraska, and there's a little blue isopod that's running away. I'm not good with the species names of bugs, so sorry for you guys that are watching that's like, that's this. I'm sorry, that's what I know them by growing up here. Probably not correct, but I'm trying my best. But yeah, absolutely love millipedes. I think they're really cute. Hello. He's just running away, but we got millipedes. We have, I was supposed to only have the blue isopods, but my friend had mixed mine with hers in, like a culture of our own, so I accidentally got, like, a couple of her, orange isopods. That's just the color they are. I don't know what the actual species name is, and they've exploded in here. Got plenty of springtails, got some wood lice, a couple other animals as well, but you can see some springtails running around right here. I don't know if my camera's good enough to get that. Here's a little isopod right here. But it's been a good time with this. I'm really enjoying bioactive cages. I'm getting mine made right now for another animal that I'm going to show off here in a minute. But we've got plenty of CUC in here. So this is her domain. It's just a nice little cage. As far as little, I shouldn't say little. She's little. The cage isn't little. She's a dwarf boa. So she actually doesn't need a lot of room there. So this is going to be plenty for her. You can kind of see her in the back there. I'm going to try to get over the top. But she's actually a Sonoran dwarf boa pure from Hans Winter. Same guy who found the hurricane. And she is a leopard SIMG. Let's see if I can get her. Sorry if the camera goes crookedy for you guys. It's not a very tall cage. There she is. This is eventually what the other boa is going to be going in, but he's actually a full-size boa. So it will be a bit smaller of a cage, but since he's a male, the males don't always get as big. If he does need eventually an upgrade, I'll get him one, because boas will actually use all the room that they're given. But this is what my bioactive cage looks like. Plenty of bugs around here. Forgot to say I also have worms in here for composting. I mean, they're really just all over. All over. I have to put new leaves in here all the time because, as you can see, they're just getting eaten like crazy. So really lucky to have such good results with my CUC, which is a cleanup crew, I should say. Alright, next up is this beautiful little girl. Hey girl! This is Opal. She is my dwarf reticulated python. I need to get more familiar with all the kinds of dwarf for retics. It's all very specific. I guess it also depends on which was which, mom or dad. But she right now is in this little cage. She's still very small, as you guys can see. So she will be getting a over 6 foot tall, 4 foot by 4 foot wide grow tent here. It's all gonna be bioactive. So she's the one that's getting the new bioactive cage. She's just the most fun girl on the planet, and I'm just keeping her in here because there's no way in hell I'd be able to handle her and have the camera out. So this is her right now in my messy floor in my disaster of a basement, but we're getting it taken care of. All I need to do for her now, I've gotten all the parts, all the pieces, everything is ready to go, literally. The only thing I need, is going to be getting some vinyl put in the front of her grow tent and the bottom vents, because they have vents in them. Those bottom vents need to be sewn shut. Everything else is good to go. I promise you. I know some of you probably have concerns about keeping a retic, even if it's small, in a grow tent, but I can tell you guys all my safety fails and everything. I believe I've thought of everything, ran it past several other people, so feel pretty confident about it. Alright, so moving on to other animals here. This guy obviously made a mess. Oh my gosh, what did you do? Oh gosh. Okay, well, this is Bishop. He is a Honduran and a Pueblan milk snake mix. It's called a Puebduran. He's He just spilled his water all over, and I literally just cleaned this, but that's okay. It's part of animals. He actually is in shed right now. He's normally a lot brighter, and he's trying to hide right now, but I do love his little orange tip nose. He's very, as you can tell, he really doesn't like me still, but we're getting there. He's stopped biting me, which is good. Alright, this boy also made a mess. My goodness, look what you did. So, apparently I shouldn't have filled up his water bowl so much, because I guarantee you what he did is he climbed into it and splished it all over the place, and now he's hiding up on top of there because he got everything wet. That was my fault in hindsight. But this is a GHI pied. I'm going to try to get him out. He usually gives me a good nip or two, but gotta get him used to people. He's very good quality, definitely the best one I've ever seen. So I'm really excited about him. He's growing very well here. I have my little Nerodia Cipodon that need their water changed every single day. If you're gonna get these guys, be prepared to do a lot of water changes. So this is a native species that changes their appearance as they grow. They're a water snake, non-venomous, cuter than heck, and require a lot of food and care. So be prepared to take care of these guys if that's what you want, but they are very rewarding. They're like little cobras, honestly. They're just so in tune to everything that's going on, and they're very fast learners. They know me, they know what a fish is. Obviously there's a difference between that, but they know when feeding time is, they know where food is, which is on the plate. And that's why he's coming up to there sniffing it like right now, like yeah, there's not a fish here. They're learning very quickly, and they're just a hoot and a half, I tell you what. I don't use that often, but they're so much fun, and they're very funny snakes. They have the biggest eyes too. So this is my female. She didn't make a mess of her water, which is nice. And you can tell that she's been eating a lot better than the male because she is bigger than him. She's just an absolute cutie. See if I can get her in focus here. She's so small that the camera doesn't really know where to look. There we go. Maybe, but yeah, they are a very curious, very attentive snake, very focused on food, and it's really fun to watch them hunt. So they will eventually be put into a very large cage because they do get big, and they can actually be communal. I've seen it firsthand, not only in the wild but also in a lab. So as long as there's multiple places for them to get heat, multiple places for them to cool down, multiple everything, they don't compete, and they will have exactly what they need. So very exciting stuff in the future here. So we're going to do this guy second to last because I don't want to end it on a sad note. So kind of prepare yourself as my camera is preparing to focus. See if I can find my little munchkin here. Alright, and I unfortunately had to take the water bowl out, but you guys can see him right there, this little dark spot right here. This is actually my male viper boa, and this is his head. So this is Fireball. Now, Fireball is an import. Most viper boas are imports. Most of the time that's not a problem. However, little Fireball here, what I'm thinking and what the vet was thinking after seeing him is that he sustained permanent neurological damage from having worms. These worms are filarial worms. They can travel throughout the body, and viper boas have been known to have them. Poor Fireball here has a very hard time striking, aiming, holding on to food. He can move just fine, has no trouble moving. But the second he gets excited, much like a spider ball python, but 1,000 times worse, he just flails all over. He can't aim well, and if he does finally hold on to something, it's not for very long. So I've had to force feed him every meal. There's different foods that they can eat too. I've tried everything. I've tried scenting with everything. I've tried different substrates. He definitely likes this the best because he can hide. I'm just telling you guys, this is the danger of importing from somebody who you know isn't the best. I got this guy at Tinley from somebody I knew was taking a risk because this guy's jet black on top and blood red on the bottom, like magma. So Was really hoping that he would pull through. The vet said basically, you know, he's doing well right now. You can force feed him for the rest of his life if you want. You can assist feed him for the rest of his life, because sometimes he will let me assist feed him instead of force feed. You know, that's working, but over the next couple months I'm going to have to make a hard decision and determine basically if his quality of life is okay, and then think about it sustained for the rest of his life. If that ever changes, you know, I'll have to make that call at that point in time too. So this is what happens when you buy from a person that you don't do your research on, or someone that doesn't make sure that they get their animals that they've imported basically normalized with their new life. So just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention. Now I do also want to say the filarial worms were gone when I got him. Filarial worms again move through the body, causing intense swelling of joints in most animals. However, in snakes it causes swelling in the body, which can mainly attack and damage the nervous system. These filarial worms will form into lumps under the skin. You can cut open the skin at that point in time and pull them out. I've never seen any symptoms, never seen any bumps. He's never had any in his poop. I've looked extensively. He does not have any. He never had any when he was in captivity. He probably actually got rid of them. Either the people did do a dewormer, since these guys are known for that, which could have even caused more damage, because the filarial worms would have not just like died in his stomach and passed on like other worms. They would have died in his muscle tissue and rotted there. So, or they, you know, he could have gotten rid of them himself. So, just saying, not trying to bring it down, but just on a serious note here, guys, you know, always remember to do your research. And thankfully, you know, I felt like I was prepared one way or the other, but unfortunately it did just go the other way. I guess the only silver lining is I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but he did get put with somebody that, you know, feels confident taking care of him. But I'll keep you updated on him, and we'll see how things turn out for him. Now this is my other Viper Boa. You can see just the huge difference. This Viper Boa comes from Nerd, and when I bought her, she was bright yellow. She normally is bright yellow, but she darkens up right away because this ReptiChip stains her. Now Kevin, who owns Nerd or runs Nerd, basically pulled me aside when I bought her, and he's like, "You know how to take care of these guys?" I said, "Yeah." Even though I said yes, he walked me through it. He was very helpful. He let me know all about them. And he did tell me a cool fact I didn't know, which is basically if these guys don't have water, they dehydrate right away and die. He said that they actually have like bladders in their body that hold water, just in case they ever find themselves in a situation where they can't find water. So that's really neat to think about. I didn't know that that was something that these guys had, but if Kevin says it, you know, I trust him. He basically, Kevin knows. So I do have these guys on ReptiChip that's dry on the top but damp on the bottom, plenty deep so that they can go down into it if they wish. They are a colder species. They don't like getting very hot. She is getting to full size. They're very thick, they're not very long, so she should be ready here pretty soon. She eats a large mouse every other week normally, sometimes every 3 weeks, just depending on how she looks. They do need their water changed quite often too, especially her, because she drags her ReptiChip into it all the time. Yes, you do, ma'am. But they're a really fun species. They are very fast. Don't let their little demeanor right now fool you. She could fly out of this tub in an instant, and I've never had anything like them. I mean, I've dealt with venomous before, but I swear to God they levitate, because I swear they go up and then out at you. And I mean, most snakes, you know, can strike half their body distance, but she can tag me like nothing else. I mean, of course I'm not being careful like I'm working with a venomous, but she gets me, and I've earned a lot of respect for her. But we both kind of have come to a mutual understanding of each other, and it's been a while since she's gotten me, but they're really cool species. She enjoys her water more than anything. They have a lot of different colorations, and I'm really excited to breed them, since these are boas, not venomous snakes. I know Viper Boa sounds venomous, but just looks like a viper. They actually have keeled scales, which is really cool and not very, not something you find in boas really too much, but since they have live birth, I'll be having some live babies eventually. That's low on my radar right now because I'd like to get a rack dedicated to them first. But some really cool animals, very, very beautiful snakes. I'm really excited to see what the future holds for these guys. Alright, so thank you guys so much for tuning in today, checking out this Snakes on the Plains episode. Not sure if it's just going to be 1 or 2 yet, but really, really happy that I'm able to start doing this again. Life is kind of coming together, and I feel like it's not going to be a complete disaster if I record a video for you guys. Definitely going to keep you up to date on how my season's going, and I'm super stoked to show you guys all the cool babies I'll be making this year, because there's going to be some really neat babies if everything turns out how it should. I'll keep you updated on all the other projects I'm doing, like the retic cage and possibly the Viper Boa cages and stuff here pretty soon. But yeah, who knows what the future holds here. Pretty exciting, very fun. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Bummer that all of our expos are being canceled right now because of COVID-19, but I really hope everyone's staying safe, and let's keep each other close in the reptile community, because I miss all you wonderful people. I miss all the local people too who are tuning in, not going to be able to see you at the expo here, but again, just all we can do is hang tight, and hopefully this will be over soon so we can see all you wonderful people again at Tinley or something. So thanks again, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.